about to make a sample batch of sangria, red sangria. And what we have what ingredients, Deb?
We have red table wine.
And is this expensive table wine?
The cheapest red wine you can find.
So
Usually
for this
jug
case,
wine.
we're using Lake County Red, Country Red. Okay.
And brandy. Just
And what kind of?
Plain brandy, not flavored. Also, whatever's the cheapest on the shelf.
Okay.
We are going to try a batch to use blackberry brandy to see if that gives it a different flavor.
Okay.
Triple sec. In any case, all of these you would use the least expensive. Lemon lime soda, Sprite or 7-Up, doesn't matter.
Okay.
And orange juice.
And orange juice. And we have a bowl, a big 4-cup measuring container, and I see we have some fruit. Oranges and apples?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do we do now?
Or, I guess, given the size of this bottle, about half of it.
So half a gallon?
Well, this is a 3-liter bottle. So
3-liter bottle. So 1.5 liters.
Yeah.
Whatever that equals. Okay. And now we're adding the
brandy. Sometimes I just start with this amount of wine. I might just add a cup of brandy, and then.
Do you need a 1-cup measure?
We've got one here that we gave.
2 cups.
All right. So, and then once I just portion it out this way, then I'll add more of whatever.
You taste it and you need it. You add.
Yeah, it needs more. This is basically your sweetness. Plus, you will add some sugar.
This is like how your great-grandmother used to do things. As Hungarian, she used to sort of feel her way through a recipe.
This is to fortify it. Your brandy fortifying your wine.
Fortifies it.
This, not a high alcohol content, but it gives it
a kick,
citrus and sweetness because it's a syrupy, like an orange liqueur.
Okay.
And the soda gives it a little fizz, although it won't be fizzy.
And how much are we adding?
We're going to do a cup of this as well.
Okay.
And then we'll add a cup of orange juice, but generally I think I usually end up adding more orange juice in the end.
I have another whole bottle of orange juice.
Smells awfully good.
And then we'll stir this. Smell like sangria yet?
Smells great.
We got to cut up the fruit.
Yeah, I'm going to put a little in here.
A little taste test.
Yeah. It still will need sugar and the 7-Up. It probably won't be very sweet.
It's potent.
Right, and you'll end up diluting it with ice. This will dilute it. I'm not even measuring this. It's probably equal to about a can of soda, maybe 12 ounces.
Okay.
And we'll put more orange juice in usually. You need more sweetness? Was it not sweet?
It was strong.
Okay,
yeah.
Strong.
Yeah, I didn't mind I don't mind the.
But you gotta remember what was in there was practically
all liquor,
with the exception of a little bit of orange juice that I put in. But then usually once I have the soda and enough orange juice to put in, I'll decide how many tablespoons of sugar need to be added.
Okay, so you know better, so this one hasn't been tasted.
So basically we have the recipe right here.
More or less, yeah.
Okay.
And then we may play around with the blackberry brandy to give it a little
So
different.
I'm going to turn this off right now, and then we'll do a little taste test and see if we need to raise.
Okay.
So we just did a taste test, and we wonder whether we diluted a little bit too much. So what we're doing is little Lake Country Red.
Yeah. And then maybe a little more triple sec.
Maybe a little more triple sec.
And the triple sec is the sweetener.
Yeah. And a little more fruity.
A little more what?
Fruitiness.
Fruitiness.
A little citrus
Okay.
to it. We'll try it now. And then I'll make a small batch with the blackberry brandy. I can't remember whose this is, but
It doesn't make any difference.
it doesn't to me either.
I would just dip the jar in the bowl in there.
And I need
You just put a splash more of the cheapest
Brandy.
brandy we can find.
Because we were thinking that if we pour it over ice.
Yeah, if you put ice, pour this over ice, maybe a little bit. So now what we do is that one orange?
That's half an orange.
Half an orange we're adding to this to give it that orangey flavor. And now what we have is a Granny Smith apple that we're...
And the idea is put this in a container and let it chill and let the fruit soak up the sangria, and then you eat the guests will eat the fruit.
Eat the fruit.
That's why you don't want to put it necessarily in one of those containers where the spigot is, because can't have the fruit.
Yeah, you can't have the fruit.
Sometimes it's nice to just put it in pitchers, large pitchers or something.
Okay, so we're cutting up more orange.
Or actually what I do is I save these bottles. These are perfect.
Okay, so Deb saves these bottles after we've used them for putting the sangria in.
Yes.
So that you can pour
fit them
it
in your refrigerator if you have to. They fit in. The fruit will still pour
Come
out.
out,
Well,
yeah, if it's
I cut my
small.
fruit a little smaller because when I do put it in here. And
What we're doing is putting some fruit in now, and what we decided is that maybe the oranges that are in there are a little too big. So we have a Granny Smith apple right now
Rather different knife?
no, it's fine.
Because that's a bread knife.
I know.
that are made up into, pretty small chunks. So that
Little
if
cubes.
if you finish using your orange juice and you have that bottle, and you put the sangria in there, you could use that as a serving container.
Right?
So
Or
if
save
they're
any
all-
else leftovers.
Yep. Yeah, any leftovers after the party. Is
And
that now you have small little chunks that will pour easily, and also there's more surface to be able to get the flavor of the apple.
And you just end up with little cubes like that.
Want lemon too or no?
No, thank you.
Lemon, no.
No.
So we're just going to use apples and oranges.
They can stand up to soaking in the sangria for an extended period of time, and they don't get mushy like a berry would or
You ever used any other kind of fruit?
peaches.
Peaches. So that would be for a white sangria or even red?
Usually for white.
When you say extended period, what's that?
Well, I've made sangria, 3 or 4 days in advance and just let it sit.
Oh, that's not extended.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
relative. I mean, I've had leftover sangria from my mom and dad's party that we had. I had bottles of it in my refrigerator for months. And I
Hey.
just drank it over
That's what
time.
we're talking. So we've added the apples to the sangria. Now, Deb, what are we doing?
We're going to add a little bit of sugar. Sometimes that takes you were saying how potent it was, or it takes the edge off of it. But it can also add a little bit of, I don't want to put the lumps in. What do you
So
think?
that's what, about
quarter of a cup maybe? Less than a quarter?
That was probably more than a quarter. That's probably a third.
Okay, we'll give that a go.
Yeah. You can always add more.
And remember, if you do put this over ice, that's going to dilute it a bit. Trying to dissolve it. More tasty, but
Except we've got to cook.
right.
Yeah, we add some ice to
Brandy and wine, and how sweet you want to balance it with the bright orange juice.
So we have 3 cups here filled with ice and with sangria, and we think it's a success. We think that the basic ingredients are right here. With a little bit of stirring, chopping, pouring, you end up with this. So, we thank you, Debbie,
You're welcome.
and I say